Join us for Live from the Pit, where we deliver high-energy trading insights. Experience live preparation and execution with real trades and actionable setups. Trade smart, not impulsively. Expect precision and discipline in every move. Watch the charts, feel the momentum, and make informed decisions. Join us daily at 9 a.m. and become a confident trader without the noise. Subscribe to Pitbull Traders on YouTube and
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is Tuesday. It is Wednesday, May 6, 2026. New day, fresh start. Welcome to Pitbull Traders Morning Game Plan. I'm your host, Manny. The purpose of this show is simple: live futures trading, real-time technical analysis, and actionable trade setups, all with the focus on building real trading skills and the mindset designed to drive consistent profitability. Every morning we come in with one goal: to outline the structure before the open so we're operating in alignment with the day's dominant forces. Not guessing, not chasing. All right, let's get after it. Let's map it out. First thing we'll start off with, as we do every morning, is we'll start off with our higher time frame analysis and take a look at where we are on the 4-hour chart. And you can see straight away that for the last few days, we've been monitoring this channel here, just looking for where this potentially where this rally could slow down. And lo and behold, this morning, we hit the top of the channel, and you can see right from there that price has stalled and retraced somewhat. Now, is that the end of this rally? I don't think so. We'll see. I'm not sure if this trend channel can hold this rally back. But it certainly acted as a resistance point. Let's see. Let's monitor it continue throughout the day. We also have on our higher time frame, we want to be alert to what we have here. We have the 7100 triple tap. We formed a higher low, right, coming in just at about 7130. So the hourly trend is intact. Higher low, then we have the 7200 higher low, and now we're just testing the top of the channel. All right, so potential support on the higher time frame, we always have to look at prior highs, right? So this prior high, the 7300 high that came in just a few days ago, and we'll monitor that. We'll frame that out, keep that in our narrative, then monitor for any support there if prices retrace. If we do lose that high, right, one thing we have to monitor is, do we get a full pullback that comes down and tests the bottom of the channel, test these prior supports? These prior highs, and do they act as support, keeping the higher low hourly trend intact? Or do we test the bottom of the channel? If we get a pullback in time, we could test the bottom of the channel, and that may be an hourly higher low, keeping the trend intact. So we'll have to monitor that, see how it plays out. All right. So let's get a little bit more granular. Let's find out where the rubber meets. Let's go to the chart where the rubber meets the road, and that's on our 15-minute time frame. And we'll start out how we do every morning, right? So first, we're going to monitor. We're going to talk about the overnight inventory. What happened in the Globex session, and is there anything there that we can use to our advantage? So straight away coming in, we can obviously see we're gapping up big. At one point, we were up 1%. We're up almost 0.5%, up 46 points. And 100% of the inventory has been contained and is above our settlement price. And you can see that here, that our settlement from yesterday was way down here at 72.87, and then just after the closing, the 4 o'clock bell, the regular trading hours bell, price just ramped, and it was the same thing at the Globex open. Okay, so our overnight inventory is 100% long, and the first thing that stands out to us is, while it is long, right, we've already retraced somewhat of that move. Okay, so price is retracing. It's coming down to test the midpoint of this rally. So the midpoint being of the overnight session is 73.33, right? And you can see how price is now testing that, testing VWAP, and it's somewhat acting as support. This is going to be the third test of that level. We'll have to monitor for continuation. What we're looking for immediately, we'll go into the most bullish argument, the most bearish argument. We'll discuss some trap trades, bullish trap trade, bearish trap trade, and then we'll cover the dreaded sideways move. All right, so let's dig right in. All right, opening up at, assuming we open up at 73.33 and we get an open drive, the first thing I want to look for is a reclaim of these moving averages, the 9 period and the 21. I want to see them curl and roll up, right? And on a pullback, then perhaps we can test these this prior high, and it holds as support. Looking for a reclaim of this high here, which is at 73.43. Okay, so if we can reclaim that high, so if we open here, price reclaims the high, it holds above, we get some acceptance, the moving averages curl and roll up, we can start looking for pullbacks that hold against that, and when we can get long, looking for long entries to target the overnight high up at 73.66 to satisfy our 96% stack, okay? At that point, we'll be in a runner and we'll monitor for continuation and see if we can ultimately break out above this trend line, okay? All right, so let's discuss the trap trade. So assuming that we get this move, okay, and price does break out. Hang on 1 second. Let me just get this right. Okay. A screenshot. All right. So assuming that we do get this move higher and price breaches and gets above the overnight high, we always have to monitor for continuation. So do we get above the overnight high, and does price start holding the overnight high as support for an extended move higher? We'll have to watch and see what happens there. However, what we have to be on alert, because we know how much ES likes to trap traders, right? We're going to have to look for the look above and fail. And a look above and fail is simply when price looks above a certain level that most people are monitoring. And typically those day time frame references like the overnight high, the overnight low are day time frame references that a lot of traders have on their roadmap. So if we get above the overnight high and then we pull back to it, it fails to hold as support. So then immediately what we need to start looking for is on any reattempt to reclaim that high, does the overnight high act as resistance? At that point, we can entertain short ideas, short scalps. You know, we really don't like to counter trend, but at that point, we have to go with what the market gives us. We're taking quick targets. We're thinking we'll have more of a scalp mentality, okay? And we're entering on short ideas we're entering short trades with the overnight high holding as resistance, and our risk marker being the overnight high or the local high that formed above it and then reclaimed and then got below it. Okay, so that's one option for the bullish trap trade. Remember, the overnight inventory is 100% long. It's net long, so it's not out of the question for us to expect a correction of that overnight inventory. All right, so that covers the bullish argument. That covers the bullish trap trade. Let's go into a retracement. I'm not sure you can call any liquidation break from here bearish. I think it'd just be more of a pullback, right? All right, remember, keeping our context in mind, 4 out of the last 5 days, we've seen weakness off the open. So we have to be alert for that. So where do things change in relation to that? Because we're already moving down. As I started this, we were trading 73.33. We're trading 73.30 now. So let's monitor this high here, which was the initial high made during the early part of last night's Globex session, that high comes in at 73.20. If that fails to act as support, right, then what we want to do is we want to look at, we can start entertaining short scalps and thinking more of a gap fill, see if we're going to get down to the settlement. At that point, we can start framing out short entries or short ideas that get us short up with our backs up against the VWAP or 73.30, this balance area that's forming here. And that would be our risk marker. We're entering short trades. We're entertaining short ideas with entries just below that, our risk marker being that 73.30. And we're looking for price to get below the 73.20 and with strength and momentum. And if it gets there and it stalls, I think I think we have to be cautious and be quick to exit because it's acting as support. But if it does fail to hold, at that point, we can start taking our scales ahead of the yesterday's high, 72.99.75, and value area high, 72.96. Okay, so if we get there, we're looking to make sure that we're in a runner, that we've got some profit in our pocket, and that we're being cautious, respecting the strength of the trend and understanding that that is where support may reside, may show up. Okay, so let's frame that out. Now that we have that framed out, let's move on to the most bearish argument. Okay, so price retraces. We get an open drive straight down, and yesterday's high fails to hold. Volume point of control, we get a bounce off of it, but ultimately price fails and we retrace lower. At that point, we're looking at the settlement. For any real bearish argument, we need to get below value area high. The rule of thumb there is when you find acceptance within the prior day's value area, you're going to traverse the value area. So value area high being 72.96, value area low being 72.78. At that point, we can start entertaining short ideas, short entries with our backs up against yesterday's high and looking for it to traverse the value area, maybe even down to value area low at 72.78. And we can monitor and assess the strength of the lower. So let me just get through this and then we can monitor for our daily open, and we're going to use that as a fulcrum for the rest of the day. All right. So assuming that we get down to yesterday's high, price looks below, stutters, maybe makes a lower low, but ultimately fails to gain any traction, and we reclaim yesterday's high for long ideas that are going to get us back up into the overnight range and potentially a move up to 73.30, maybe even up to 73.66 overnight. That the bearish trap trade argument, the bullish trap trade, and the most bullish argument. All right, so let's stay alert here. If we're going to contemplate, if we're going to cut dreaded sideways move, I think that would have us opening up here with a doji indecision. And ultimately, we just go down, we test 73.20, price unable to gain any traction. We come up here, we test just below the high, maybe 73.55. And if price does do that, and we come up here, we find some resistance, we come back down, and we find support here, at that point, we'll shift our approach, change it to more of a scalping the edges approach until price breaks out in one way or the other. All right. If we are going to use that approach, remember, we want to be quick with it. We want to be quick on the draw. We want to take target, take short, get against your thing, close it out. The most bearish argument. We also covered the bearish trap trade and the bullish trap trade as we do every morning. So let's go through now. Let's monitor what is our daily open. Let's clear this out. And we're going to get our opening print here. Remember, the opening print is very important, right? Because the opening print is, if you think about a daily candle, right? The opening print is what's going to tell us whether we're going to form a bullish green candle on the day, or whether we're going to form a bearish red candle, right? So we want to think generally long above the daily open, short below it. Of course, there are no linear decisions in trading. There's no right, there's no wrong. There is just action and tight risk controls. All right. So our opening print now is 73.31. We're trading above it, right? We traded 73.27. This support area that we outlined held. So we outlined 73.30. It's actually 73.27. We traded a little bit lower. Only 2 contracts came off at the low, and thus far we're ramping higher. Okay, so let's monitor this flow here that comes in at, okay, so that low comes in at 73.55. Let's monitor 73.50, 73.55. We want to see some acceptance. We want to bust through that. Let's make sure that we get above these moving averages, the 9 period and the 21. Thus far, volume weighted average price is holding as support. Let's see what develops here. All right. Good morning, Bruce. So just off the gate, right, we have to let's assess here. I think that, this is so far we're moving higher. It's a very bullish open because there's been no far to correct overnight inventory, right? God dang it. Looks like my Ninja Trader is frozen here again. Womp womp. I'm gonna have to reset it. So hang tight. Of course, right? Look at that. All right, guys, we just traded up to 73.43. This is very bullish open. No attempt to correct the overnight inventory. Obviously, if you're following the execution clock, you know what we're looking for this morning. So that's in line with what we're looking for. Let's monitor for continuation of the move. I think if we get above this 9 period moving average, 73.43, then at that point we have to start looking for micro pullbacks in order to get long, and for a continuation of the trend, and for a move that gets us up to 73.66. We're trading 73.43, so there's quite a bit of meat on those bones. I really like that idea because that's just in line. It goes with our narrative. There's been no attempt to correct the overnight inventory. So let's monitor for continuation. It's looking strong here. For you folks tuning in on social media, hey, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to improve the show every day. We're bringing you live trading. We're bringing you live trading. We're bringing you good trading ideas, right? Every day, one of our scenarios is playing out in real time. And hopefully, if we can improve the show in any way, just let us know. Your feedback is crucial to this. And if you like what you're seeing, do us a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe for more. All right, so immediately here we're kind of stalling out at 73.45, micro pullback. Let's wait for this first 15-minute candle to close, and then we can reassess. We can judge what the strength of this move is going to look like. But thus far, no attempt to correct the overnight inventory can only be interpreted in one way, right? We have to look at that as being bullish. Okay, let's see what we got. 73.45. 15 contracts came off at the high. All right, guys, let me know what you're looking at here. Do you have any do you have any trades going? If you have any trades on, let me know what you're looking at. If you think there's something I missed, what are your ideas? Come on, share them with me. Let me know what you're doing. Man, computer's running really low on resources right now. Just got too many things going on here. Yeah, I'm always a big advocate of when you get tech, get the best thing you can get because it's going to be obsolete very soon. And um, this machine is not very old at all, but it seems like it's under a lot of stress. I am running a lot of different things. I mean, I have one, two, three, four different trades this stream and stuff, and what I'm sharing in the pit with our private community. Also, guys, if you want to join our private community, look in the description. There's a link there. As we do every day, we will stream live from 9:30 to 11:30, and then we go into our private community, and that's really where the meat and potatoes are. Bunch traders, sharing trades, sharing ideas, sharing charts. If you guys been tuning in, right, you know that we've got a bit of an allergy issue going on. And all right, let's get back to price. So we just tested the open, and it looks like we found support. We traded as low as, yeah, we came down to VWAP, to the RTH VWAP. We went low 73.37 and we bounced. We didn't even test the open. Let's see. Careful here for a choppy trade. Stay alert. But yeah, I think that we have to interpret this as bullish price action. No other way to look at it. I mean, any attempt to correct the overnight inventory has failed. So let's monitor here for continuation. Let's see if we can get above that 73.55. Right now, we're reclaiming that 9-period moving average. Let's see how this develops. I'm looking at a pullback maybe to 73.38 for entry. Let's see. As I always do, I'm monitoring Spygate. I'm listening for what the institutional activity is doing, right? So Spygate is our institutional trade tracker that lets us know if larger institutions are running buy programs or sell programs. And keep in mind that that comes free if you purchase an evaluation. Great tool to get you funded. So if you need to know more about that, go to pitbulltraders.com. Really quick, let's give you an update on the internals. We're looking at 1.4 to 1 positive on the NYSE, 2 to 1 positive on the NASDAQ. The VIX gapped down 2%, but now is looking to make an attempt to fill that gap. Interestingly enough, the Russell is coming off super hard from its highs. So we know that the Russell has been leading this move. We talk about it every day. We want to look at that as an indicator and kind of make sure that we're framing our trades with a holistic view of what the entire market is doing. Okay, so thus far, the structure on the Russell looks very weak. It's pulling back hard here, and it's been leading this move. It's been the most bullish of the majors, so keep an eye out for that. As we do every day, we're going to monitor crude, as that's been more and more relevant to ES, NQ traders. And at one point, we tested down to $88. It's now up 96. Now it's up to 96. So that's a massive move in crude. It was up at one point to 110. Pulled off to 88 and now it's back up to 96. I mean, man, that's a great trading vehicle if you know how to trade it. I am not really good at trading crude. I'll admit that, but doesn't mean I can't get better at it. Yeah, so it looks like, yep, all right, we're breaking out here now. See if we get that move. See if we can gain traction here. Remember, guys, we get over 73.55 and the target becomes what? The overnight high, 73.66 quarter. That's where decisions will be made, all right? Yeah, the Russell is really weak here. Let's stay alert. Watch. that overnight high looks maybe a level too far to reach. I don't know. Let's watch. Let's watch here. This is so bullish. I mean, it's bullish, so it's not, right? So, all right. So let's talk about it. What will we be looking for if price stalls out here? So, the first thing we want to monitor is, do we get through 73.31, which is what? Our opening print, right? We monitor that every day to give us an idea. If price fails here, gets below 73.31 and breaks this lower support at 73.27, then at that point, we're looking at a potential gap fill. Reverie points out, it's easy when the 10-year yield approaches 4.5%. Leaks of a peace deal breakout. Yeah, I was just waiting when the news came out and equities rallied. I was waiting for Iran to come out and refute it, but that didn't happen. So maybe it's real. Who knows? We'll see. It's been I think the propaganda game has been quite entertaining here. Trump has done his best and timed his tweets really well in terms of keeping the market propped up. So, yeah, I'm sure Barron's doing great. He's probably got 20, 25 prop accounts, a couple of Bitcoins, right? Would have running past him. He's copy trading. It's like, Dad, I'm getting hosed on this position, man. Come on, tweet something. Come on, Dad. Save my position. So what's the over-under, guys, on the gap fill? Are we going to get a gap fill here today or not? Thus far, we were unable to breach that local high at 73.46. You can see it pretty well on the 5-minute. I'm thinking that those guys are toast. I think we're going to go stop those guys out. We're going to test up to 73.50, 73.55. So we'll see. Let's see what plays out here. Very bullish, though. The Russell is the one thing that gives me pause, right? But I mean, I don't want to look at too many different things because, then you won't execute anything because there's always something that'll keep you out of a trade. These allergies have been horrible. I'm going to have to go blow my nose here in a sec.
First pullback, take trade.
What's the over under, guys? Do we go? Are we gonna blast through no gap fill today? It looks like that's what materializing here. Yeah, it was a hell of a buy down there. Kudos to all you guys who stayed bullish and caught that move. Smart. We dipped, tested the daily open, and we ripped. So good move there, guys. Glad you caught it. Price looks poised to break out here. Oh, no. Yep. Stalling. Let's see. Let's get up there and retest that trend line and see if anybody's home.
Target filled.
Stalling here. Stalling.
First pullback. Take trade.
See if we get some follow through on this algo long. The algo got me long at 73.41. Auto execute there. So let's see if we get some follow through. Go for a first target up here at 73.45 for a 4-point gain. I try to keep the targets on the algo really, I want to get in, I want to get out, I want to scalp those. I want to treat it more of like a scalp trade. But we're moving up. We're trending higher here. So it should be good. All right, got that one off, plus 4 points on that. So that's good. And looks like I ran into some trouble here because this chart is frozen now again. God dang it. That sucks. Shit. Excuse me. That's twice this morning. That's not a good sign. Ugh. So it's got me long now. It's rogue. It's out there by itself. And I had to relaunch. Hey, always make sure you always have a backup platform, guys. It's very important. You don't want a situation that like what's going on right now where you platform freeze on you. You gotta relaunch. It's time. It's effort. And you know what? No, what can happen? Of course, it will go wrong more times than it works for you. Murphy's Law in full effect. So I'm trying to get reconnected here. I'm not going to panic. Nothing good can come of that, right? That's like when you're struggling in a pool or something like that, you don't want to start panicking. Part of me not panicking is also knowing that it's moving in my favor. Feel a lot better about this once I get connected. All right. See where the target is on this thing. All right, 73.49. 50. That should be quarter. Should be quarter. Make sure this is set to none. Make sure I get a protective stop in there. All right, here we go, popping. All right, got the target, guys, plus 8 points on that one. Sweet. Remember, don't panic. Never panic. Nothing good comes of panic. Leave the panicking for the women and children. Trending higher here. I've got my stop in at break even, so we'll see how this one works out. Ultimately, I'm looking for a target of the overnight high at 73.66. I will trail it up aggressively because the algo, since it disconnected, it's not following the regular strategy. So I'm just going to monitor it and point and click it. Hopefully that works out for me. Target is somewhere up here. 41.61, 61.75. Yeah, let's just monitor for continuation now. So if you're just joining in right now, sorry, if you're just joining in right now, I'm Manny from Pitbull Traders. We're tracking the ES. We just hit 73.50, which was the level that we wanted to be on alert for. We're pulling back a little bit here, but ultimately what we're tracking is that the overnight inventory was 100% long, was net long, and there's been nary an attempt to correct that inventory. All right, so we're bullish. We're gapping up. It seems is pretty much playing out as a gap and go thus far. We'll see how it continues to play out. We're looking for an early morning high here. We still have some time on the clock. So let's monitor here from continuation. All right, that Russell, man, that Russell's coming off big. Let's see. I don't know what kind of tell that is, but all right, looking at the high here, there was a bit of divergence up there. 20 contracts came off. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock. We're getting close to our window here. All right, that just took me out. Oh, crap. Man, I tried to turn the algorithm back on. That's so strange. So I'm gonna, God dang it. That sucks, man. So I tried to activate it from the workspace control panel, and it just closed me out. I should have went into strategies here. So it'll just close out the trade and kind of reset it. So let me just get it back on here again. Hang tight. Yeah, Bruce. So, Bruce, do you run into a lot of problems with Ninja Trader? I know. I think you run the algos too, right? 2 to 3 times a week. Yep. Yeah. Same here. Dude, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like it froze again. Look at this. WTF, bro. What is going on, man? Man, of course, right? It's gonna beeline for my target now, 73.61.75. That's just the way it works. That's just the way it is. Yep, agreed. Yeah, Bruce points out the algo doesn't like when it gets restarted in the middle of the trade. Yep, I've noticed that. I tried to kick it off from the strategy tab. It didn't work. It just closed it out. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna sweat it. I'm not gonna stress it. Life is too good to be stressing out about one trade. Been doing this for too long to get stressed out over one trade. Plus, I made like close to $700 on the trade. So if you guys are monitoring, hey, this algorithm, if you're a prop firm trader and you're looking to pass your eval, dude, you can use this algorithm. So often when I'm trading $150,000 prop challenge, I will set my target at the 4,500 to pass, and then I'll set my risk at a risk that gets me at least 1 or 2 chances on it. It'll trade the contract for you. It'll hit the target. I've often been funded on one trade. It happens more times than I can tell you. It's great to get funded. So if you want to know more about that, hit me up at trends at manny_trends on X. You can also email me, manny@pitbulltraders.com. And there are, I run 1, 2, 3, 4. I run 1, 2, 3. I run 3 of them actively, but I have 6 going with the opening range trade. I'm not going to run the opening range though. Hey, Bruce, if you're watching, I'm not going to run the opening range on a gap up. I don't know if you're running them, but you run into more problems on gaps. I like to open them when we're gapping down. I like to run them when we're gapping down.
First pullback, take trade.
Hey guys, hang tight for a minute. I have to quickly.
Look, if you're actively trading ES or NQ and you're struggling with consistency, chasing moves, or just getting completely chopped to pieces on a daily basis, we need to cut the fluff. I'm going to share the exact missing piece that most retail traders literally never learn. It's the reason why you constantly feel like you're one step behind the market. You see, most traders obsess entirely over price, but honestly, that's exactly the problem. Because you're not wrong about the market direction, you're just late. Welcome to the missing dimension.
Let me ask you something, because I know you've been there. We all have. You do all your prep, you identify the exact support level, and the market comes right down to it. You enter the trade. And then what happens? The market wicks down, hunts your stop, takes you out for a loss, and then, literally seconds later, it rips exactly in the direction you predicted. You got the level right. So why did you get stopped out? It's a visceral pain, isn't it? Nailing the structure, but still bleeding capital because you got chopped up right before the massive run. The hard truth is, the algorithms running this market don't give a damn about your lines on a chart. There is a harsh truth you just have to accept. Being early is the exact same thing as being wrong.
Let that really sink in for a second. If you're entirely focused on price levels and waiting on lagging indicators to give you permission to trade, you are guaranteed to be late to the execution, or you're so early that you get completely swept up in the volatility. In these markets, execution timing directly impacts outcomes. Even milliseconds matter. If you are ignoring the timing of the market's cyclical rotations, it really doesn't matter how great your support and resistance lines are. You're basically trading blind in one dimension.
So, there's a massive shift you need to make right now if you want the professional edge. The amateur focuses strictly on the where, the price. But think about it. Everybody has the exact same charts. Everybody sees the exact same moving averages. The real unfair advantage? That's time. The when. It's not just about where the market is going. It's about knowing exactly when the market is scheduled to move. This is the ultimate difference between blindly reacting to what just happened and professionally executing on what is structurally anticipated to happen next. Let me introduce you to the framework that changes all of this, the execution clock. And let's get one thing straight right off the bat, okay? This is not an indicator. It's not a signal service. And it definitely isn't some prediction tool promising you magic.
Yep, beelining right for my target, right?
Framework.
Perfect.
It's a predictive, time-segmented algorithmic model that identifies the intraday program before it even runs. It takes the highly complex execution
timing of the market for the breakout. We're going to test up to 73.50,
It's about structured anticipation.
5.
To understand how this works, you have to understand that the market does not move randomly. It follows cyclical patterns. The execution clock actually categorizes these into 4 primary series days, from series day 1 through series day 4, each with either a high or low anticipated directional bias. So we call these S1H, S1L, and so on. By identifying which of these 4 primary programs is actually running, we stop guessing. We can literally categorize the intraday program and map out exactly when the algorithmic rotations are scheduled to hit. Let me show you what this actually looks like in practice. Take a series day 1 high, or S1H. Notice how the framework segments the trading session into these highly actionable time zones. You see that first green window there with a center time of exactly 10:30? That is an actual
target
time
we're looking for is 73.66
We aren't sitting around waiting for a lagging MACD crossover. We know going right into the session
See if
that
I get
this
another
specific
crack at
window
it.
is highly probable for a local high rotation. You start mapping your price levels directly to these specific timing
Russell's
windows.
coming off
And look,
pretty
this isn't some
aggressively
static
here.
one-size-fits-all gimmick either. Look at the structure for series day 2 low. The market cycles
don't think
adapt, and
ES
so does
or
the framework.
ES cares.
Notice how those windows shift? We have a 10:30 low, a 12:45 high, a 2:30 low. If you've ever wondered why your morning strategy suddenly blows up in the afternoon, or why you always seem to buy the absolute top of the lunchtime chop, well, this is why. You're trading the wrong time window for the specific program running in the market that day. Now, when you're dealing with a series day 3 low, you instantly get the ultimate gift an active trader can have: patience. Because you already know the rotations. You see that red zone from 12 to 1 with the 12:30 center time? If you were tracking this, you aren't panic buying a breakout at 12:15. You already know the algorithmic rotation is scheduled to push lower. You literally stop reacting to every single tick and you start seeing the rotation
Blue
before it
sky
even
territory.
happens. And on a series day 4 high, you get the final proof of the concept. Just look at how
Let's
precisely
go. I got
these
shaken
time
out
zones
of
are
my
worked out.
position
10:30,
on a
12:20,
stupid, on a
2:30,
unforced
3:30.
error, a
When you take your
stupid error on my
meticulously researched
part.
price levels and align them
Whatever,
with
I'm
these
not going to
specific
stress
time
it.
rotations, that is how you actually capture the real meat of the swing.
I'm less focused on
you're executing exactly when the volume and the
profit
program are
side as
designed
much
to
as
turn the
I'm
market.
focused on
This
the
right here
risk
is what
side,
separates
right?
retail traders getting stopped out from professionals executing with precision.
Like, I'll just
So
take
it
what
really
the
comes
market
down to
gives
understanding
me.
the
There's always
anatomy of
another
what you're looking
trade
at.
right around the
Let's
corner.
break down the 3 structural
The
pillars
risk
of these
side is
actionable time zones.
where the
First
rubber
up,
meets the
you have the
road,
windows.
right?
These are specific calculated time ranges where we
This is
anticipate
why
a local
Pitbull
high or
Traders,
low
we
to actually
focus
form.
on risk
Second,
first.
the
It's the
center
same
times. This is
philosophy
the
we
absolute
use,
apex,
you know,
highest probability moment of the
when we
anticipated
provide,
reversal
when
right
we are
inside that
providing
window.
capital
And
to our
third, the
traders.
algorithmic rotations.
They
This is the
come in, they
underlying
provide
short-term time delta logic
discipline. They
that
show us
identifies
that they
the
can
most
make it
likely path
happen,
for
and
the
we
rest
want
of
to
the
fund
session.
those guys.
It's
We want to
math,
give them
it's time,
capital. We
and
want
it gives
them
you
to do
structured
well.
anticipation.
More interested
So why does all
in
this matter?
having
What's
a
the real
handful of
takeaway
good
here?
traders
It comes down to real-world outcomes.
than
Period.
100 active
This
traders.
time-based framework is how you finally secure better entries. It's how you stop chasing candles that have
Different
already
core
made their move.
philosophy.
It explicitly ends those premature entries where you jump the gun and get chopped out of your position. You
All right,
literally
making a strong
transform from a
move here,
trader who
guys.
reacts to the
Remember
market
that
out
our
of fear and
target is
FOMO
where? It's
into
up
a trader
here,
who anticipates the market with
73.66
structure and
quarter. Let's see
absolute
if we can
confidence.
get there.
This is how you unlock
Obviously, we're gonna
unmatched
monitor
intraday
the
consistency.
73.50 to
I want you to think about the trader you
73.55
are right
band
now, relying solely on
highlighted
price, constantly feeling a step behind the
during our
algorithms.
pre-market
Now contrast
prep.
that with the trader who knows exactly when the rotation is coming. Imagine the clarity, the structure, the confidence. If you're genuinely serious about improving your execution and you want to stop trading blind in one dimension, this is exactly where you start. The clock is ticking. You can get the roadmap for tomorrow's open inside the Pitbull Traders.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. We're back. Adrian asked, "Hey Manny, is the guide up for today on your Twitter account? Why not just point and click? No algo." So, all right. So, Adrian, yeah, did you check? Did I put it up today? I was really busy this morning. Hang on. All right. Oh, sugar. You know what? Hang tight. Coming at you. Check the feed. Do me a favor. Smash that like button. Let me just get it up for you guys. I had my son was sick his medicine this morning. Hang on. So that kind of had me distracted. That's why I didn't jump on till late. So just as a heads up, today's S2H cycle day 3, and we're looking for an AM high to print somewhere in between 10:15 and 10:30. Let me just get there. Hey, so Simon asks, why not point and click and no algo? So Simon, let me just, there's trades that way. And then I have algos that run. I'm running 3 today. And the reason for that is I don't have to monitor them, right? Like I pretty much looking at I can execute on different accounts without having to sit and monitor them all and not have to point and click. I don't like to copy trade because it's just more risk on. That's why I run them. 3 different strategies, right? I can run more strategies adhering to the rule set, adhering to discipline, and I don't have to sit and monitor them. Basically, it's just saving me brain power. So that's why. But thanks for the question. I appreciate that. Do me a favor. Yeah, the tick is up on my X feed. Go there. Just do me a favor. Tap the like button. Show me some love. Let me know you're interested in it. It's posted now. I'm also going to post the market blueprint. Today's market blueprint. I just realized it wasn't up, so look out for that coming through. You'll see. That's the reason why I took the earlier long off of 73.41.
First back, take trade.
Let's see what's on back. Guys, the market blueprint is really where it's at. You combine that with the clock, you can ask, if you guys join our private community, you can see last week alone, the market blueprint got the low of the day 3 times. And on last Wednesday, Wednesday, it got the low of the day and the high of the day, and it also got the day one time that last week. So close of the day, one high of the day. Pretty proud of that. All right, May 6th market blueprint is up now. Just want to make sure I have these accounts these accounts fanned out correctly. I just realized that with that earlier, had me initiate it. Now we would get that support buy at 73.20, like with a look below and fail of it. And where we looked below it, that didn't happen. So 73, 46.50, which is our nearest support area, because what I'm suspect of is I want to be cautious that price, that all the buying power in the day is basically gone through. And we're getting this gap, right? At that point, what we could look at is support buy number 2. So I wouldn't be buying shallow dips if from coming off just because of the state of the Russell, right? And if price does stall there, which I expect on the way down, it will bounce off that level. But I'd want to see that in real time. That's not going to be an algo trade. I'm going to want that. So just show that I'll have, okay, those are my point and click setups. Everything for me, right? Set the edge in my favor. I don't want to just go, I don't want to execute haphazardly. This is the most competitive market in the world. You get the opportunity to work on your edge every day. If you are having even a small plan, right? You're just know this, you're going to get a 67% of the point and click traders. I mean, a majority of these guys are not sitting down and putting in the time to even draft a simple little plan for their day. So if you want an edge, set the deck in your favor. When you combine that with the execution clock, guys, the execution clock does a major thing, right? It it it's the one thing that will give you, because so every trader is patience, right? And why does every trader find it so hard to have patience? Well, it's simple, right? Like you get, you don't know, is this level going to hold, is that level going to hold, and that tension builds up, and all of a sudden it comes out, and it it expresses itself through a click, right? But the clock tells you, hey, at this time of the day, if you're looking for a long trade, at this time of the day, your probabilities are higher. So it gives you a window, it gives you a cadence to follow. It also tells you, hey, maybe at this price will likely turn and go against you. So there's nothing else out there like it, guys. Check it out. Highly suggested. When you combine the market blueprint trade plan with the execution clock, you're ahead of, I would say, 80% of traders out there, 90% traders. If you have the algorithm, set the odds, and okay, we're looking at the D level box here. We're monitoring that little long there, so we'll see what happens there. Obviously, the target here, right? We to get above this, and then ultimately the target becomes the overnight high, 73.6650. So let's keep an eye on that. When we get up there, we'll reassess the strength and the momentum of the move to see if we're going to continue higher on the bullish price action. We'll attempt to fill up and retest the overnight high. We're going to retest this trend line, and ultimately the target that I'm looking for here, I'll flame it out, and just to make sure you guys are alert of it, this target 74.50, I've been looking at this target for over a year now, and on March, I wrote an article in the opening print, and I made the argument for why we would be going there. It has the charts, has the follow through, it has the logic behind it. Lo and behold, here we go, testing up to 73.55, 100 points shy of the target. And that's not to how the logic is built, how how these patterns repeat. And when we understand, tend to operate over years and years of experience, it really allows us to be more prepared for the day. Let me see what I'm on here. Oh, this is disabled. I don't have this one. I'm going to turn this one on. I'm going to turn this. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment. Keep me company. It's not easy to execute this stuff while on this. Crap, I came to within like a couple of ticks of that target. Look, where did it fade from? Right there from 73.55. I told you, I mentioned earlier, this is the need right here. We got a doji print on the 15th, start working up into the wick, hopefully. Come on, give me that first target. Looking for 73.58, 75. Come on. Hang tight here. Just got to answer this. Just have to answer this text message. One of my sure you guys know I'm a baseball coach, and one of my coaches needs to know something. It's all-star voting at our park, so it's pretty exciting. Kids get really excited about all-stars. Take best kids at each age group, put them on a team, and we go battle other parks. It's really fun. Yeah, good eye, Stuart. So Stuart points out NQ is really a long way from the overnight high. Yeah, the Russell is odd bird today. It's led this whole way move up. It's led this move up, and now it's just stalling. Let's go points at 73.58. I'm looking at scale 2 right around the overnight high. So 1 point just below, 1 tick below, and a couple points below 73.64. A couple points just below. Again, decisions we made. Given scalp lower. One thing I do want to do is make sure that the algorithms. I don't want to let the algo get me long up here anymore. Turn that off. Turning them all off. Simon asks, is a $150,000 account too small to trade ES? Nope, I don't think so at all. I think that account is perfect. That's what I'm trading with. You know, I've even used the $50,000 accounts. You know, those are great too. Just trade. You know, You can use those with micros, or you can use those with minis, and you can reach your profit target quicker, and you can reach your payout faster. So account string is personal 150K account. But that's I'm just gonna blow this last one out. What is my resistance on? What is my resistance sell on the blueprint? Let's check it out. $73.75. So so let's go. That was good to me. All right, here we go. We're coming into that target now, guys. Hope you guys caught a piece of it. Hope you're long. At the very minimum, I hope you're not shorting this. Because and if you are, let me know what you're doing, right? You know, what is not okay is to yourself, right? There's so many people that want to help other people. So if you're having a problem with, with executing, if you're getting on the wrong side of things, ask someone for help. It does. Trading can, we can get really down on ourselves, falling around us. Use a mentor, use a friend. Make sure you have at least a day. Yeah, I think that's very important. Great community of helpful experts. Bruce just posted, that we try to form a good collective of traders here, so that the whole theme has always been, traders helping traders, right? I've seen so many guys improve that, and improving in discipline, like in all facets of the game. Right? Prop firms are not a replacement if you're trading your prop account. I mean, if you're trading your personal account, right? I still have a personal account that I trade from now and then. I only switched to prop accounts like 2 years ago, but prop firms are. Think of it like this: same trade, same setup, different capital structure. You can trade guys with which allows you, okay, so let me see. How can I explain it to understand? Okay, look at it let's look at it like this. Look at a prop call option or put option, whatever the case might be. Your premium you're paying for that option, and your downside risk, it. It's exactly what your downside risk is. Your upside theoretically can go wherever. It can run as high or as long as the market runs. Right? But your downside is limited. You have a fixed risk, and prop accounts are no different. They're the same. Performance but you're not open-ended. Like if you're trading, you're buying an even buying option. You know your risk up front, and your upside becomes tied to your execution. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way I've explained it lately. I'm gonna have to remember that. And 66 quarter. Looking for the tag of the overnight high. Yeah. So Stuart points out now. That's right. Good eye. And it seems like the Russell is digging in here. It's like it's number low. So hard and check out the VIX. Hey, let's
Target filled.
Oh, got the target, guys. It filled. So heads up. I think that was like 14-point target. So nice there. Nice target. Let's take a look at our core sector list while we wait for this next target to fill. All right. So, all right, really quickly, what do we see? What do we see? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sectors green versus 3 sectors red. So
Target filled.
there we go. Got the second target. Got the third target actually. So nice, nice, nice. I think that was a 15-point gain. Let me just check it out. Yep, 15-point gain. Again, I want to be monitoring this here. I know I have a resistance point coming into these highs. Yeah, 73, 75. So I'm looking to scale into that. Of course, now I'm looking at the delta divergence. That's the little meter right here. You guys see on the side of my screen. Use this on your entries. Can't tell you how many times this has saved me from a bad entry, or saved me from sitting in, a 2 or 3 point drawdown right at the entry. And there's nothing worse than that, like then clicking and entering, and then all of a sudden you're down 2 points because you start questioning your decision. Boom, breaking out here, guys. Breaking out. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Simon says no 15,000. I don't understand. No 15,000. All right, we're breaking out here. Heads up. Heads up. I'm going to move this one up in case we overshoot. Why not? Looking for a Looking for a 20-point target, 21 points, I think. We'll see it play out here. Oh, okay. Okay, look, I'm seeing something here I don't like. I'm going to go ahead and cover this one. Let me see. Wait. Wait. I'm going to go ahead and take whatever this gives me.
Target filled.
Yeah, I think that was like 15 points on that one. I'm okay with that. There's something here that I'm watching in the order flow that I don't like. So, all right, now let's make sure that we're monitoring that 66 quarter level. We're also, guys, if you're using the clock, you also know where we are. So, if you're in this long, make sure you're scaling, make sure you're taking some profits off the table. I'm going to tighten up too. You guys know I don't like to trail tight stops, but it's prudent now to do it because several things are telling me to. And then we're going to lower this in case we extend a little higher. I just want to be out into that resistance. And that's being a little greedy. I don't want to play it that close. 72, 74 is the resistance. What is the resistance? I'm okay exiting there. It's been nice, good, profitable morning. $75 to $79. Totally fine taking it off there. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if we can get that target. Come on, baby. Roll me. Let's go. If you miss this move and you're feeling some FOMO, don't do it. Wait, there'll be a pullback. There's going to be another trade coming up shortly. Just give it some time. Hang tight, guys. I have to use the restroom real quick. Grab something to drink. I'll be right back.
All right, let's dive right into this explainer. If you're absolutely exhausted by the daily chaos of the markets, you're in the right place. Today, we're flipping the script completely with the market blueprint. Look, we've got to stop reacting to the noise. So many E-mini S&P 500 day traders out there are literally bleeding money every single day. Why? Because they're trading on emotion. They're jumping at shadows, and honestly, they're just outright guessing. It is time to start executing the plan. And I want to be crystal clear here. This isn't about making wild market predictions. What we're looking at is a highly mechanical framework. It's built for one thing and one thing only: absolute, institutional-grade execution. So what's actually holding this framework up? It's built on 3 foundational pillars. First, you've got precision levels. These tell you exactly where to strike without hesitation. Second is your risk guide, and that's driven by a strict stop-loss protocol, or SLP. And finally, you have the overall market context, which we map out in our market musings. To show you what a true precision level looks like in practice, check out April 29th. We have a very specific, incredibly tight 4-point ES band locked in right at 7112 to 7116 for a support buy. You pair that exact level with the market musings giving you the context on the trend, and, well, there's just zero guesswork left. Then, jumping over to May 1st, we see another ES support buy zone, this time right at 7227 to 7231. But notice what's absolutely crucial here. Integrating the stop-loss protocol, the SLP, is strictly mandatory. Relying on a strict 5 to 8 point risk guide to define your risk is exactly what keeps you safely in the game. Okay, so the million-dollar question: does it actually work? Let's crack open the performance audit. The magic number here is 3. On 3 entirely separate trading days, our support buys perfectly captured the absolute low of the day, and they did it within a surgical 5-point band. Nest number 1. That's the exact number of days during the week where our resistance cells cleanly captured the absolute high of the day. Again, no panicking, no reacting, just waiting for the plan to come to you. But guys, here is the ultimate proof of this mathematical precision. We call it the double tap. On one phenomenal standout day, the blueprint literally nailed both the exact high of the day and the exact low of the day in one single session. I mean, think about how wild that is to capture both ends perfectly. So what are you waiting for? You have got to stop reacting to the noise and start executing the plan. If you are ready to stop guessing and finally step up to professional level execution, email the word blueprint to manny@pitbulltraders.com right now. Go get it.
Oh, narrow miss up there. Had 72 offered. Narrow miss. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm staying with me. That's how it contains it. So what do we want on crude? Man, those grapes are good. $73.70 thus far has been our high. That is not the high of the day. That is not the high of the day. What do you guys think? 73.70 is the high of the day? Uh-oh, little sell program. There's been a real lack of institutional trading up here. Like this is not so thus far today in institutional trading activity, there's been 3.4 billion. That is pretty low for this time of the day. And that is skewed to the buy side. The delta there is there have been 14 buy. Sorry, let me repeat that. 14 buy programs to 54 sell programs. I was wrong on that, but check it out though, right? 14 buys to 54 sell programs, but it's a positive delta. So the buy programs are bigger than the sell programs. Obviously, we're way higher, right? And it's been positive to the tune. The delta there is 3.4 billion. So, yeah, you don't want to fight that. With big money bets being placed. If you guys want to know more about the Spygate, go to pitbulltraders.com. Again, and that also comes free with any evaluation you purchase. I need that high to get taken out. Come on. Stuart asks, is that John Carter's site you mentioned? I'm not sure, Stuart. Site? I don't. I think so. Isn't John Carter? I don't really know who he is. Is he like an indicator guy? Simpletraders.com. Okay, cool. Never heard of him. I don't follow him at all. I think there are some indicators, like John Carter indicators, maybe some I think I've heard somewhere. I don't know. Not something I'm familiar with. Is he any good, Stuart? Do you follow him? Do you like his stuff? Huge trader, huge website. Okay, cool. Good to know. I'll check it out. Good books. Okay. Yeah, I'm a big reader. I love, I love to read, so I'll definitely check it out. I was sharing here on the stream my last read, which was a quick read. It was a fun book. It's called Hedgehogging. A few million, 1 to 2 day trades. Shit, man, excuse me. Dang, that's pretty big. That is pretty big. I guess he's got more than one prop account. I'm just being facetious. All right. Jesus Christ. Excuse me. Don't hold thy Lord's name in vain, Manny. Man, but this thing froze. Okay. I thought it froze on me again. D-level money box is up at 73.75. I'm off for that 72.72 for my final target. I'm watching this very closely here. I'm watching the order flow. One eye on that. Showed trade in room Friday afternoon. So he showed his trades in the room in the room on Friday afternoon. Is that what years ago he made, man? Yeah, that's a great trade. That's a great trade.
Target filled.
There we go. Got the last target, guys. Sweet. I think it was 20 points. Wow, I got filled at 73.72, guys. 41 contracts came off. Hey, that brings it to a good point, right? So check this out. Listen to this. So I was just filled at the high of the day, 73.72. And the reason for that is that moving it around, right? So that move got filled. That's a good example of why I don't like to fiddle with my orders too much. You know, set them and don't touch them. Stay out of the way. Strong piece of advice. Once you get your orders in, you know, don't fiddle with them. I used to constantly move my orders around. Move my stop, move this, move that, and it's just part of the discipline. Let it play out. Usually, what I've learned is you just get more emotional. All right, so what's the next trade, right? Let's talk about that. The NASDAQ just broke out. The Russell just broke out. Okay, good. So we have to be on alert for the trap trade. And if, say, we do pull back and get back below the overnight high, where's the support? Well, we know we have this support right here at 73.43, kind of like the breakout of that balance area. We also know that 73.43 is a level on the market blueprint. That's a continuation level, 745. For support, and what we want to do, what I want to do, and if you own 12:30 around that time, set the odds in your favor. Never took in social media seriously in terms of posting and stuff. Although I have another account that I've been on X. I just never saw any need to take it that seriously. offer, then at that point I'll start, putting it out there. And I feel like I'm at that point. Set 73.40. Sorry, excuse me. 73.75 to 73.79. Central Reserve. Heads up, watch that high, 73.74. It's a few points shy of where where a few points shy, point and a half shy of this, but we're forming some delta price consistent. I'm not shorting it. There's not enough evidence for me. I'm not going to try to pick a high, but guys, it's imminent. Trust. It's coming. It is the nature of the day, right? Straight up, and if you're trying to sell into this, you do put a random stop on it. As price goes and retest into your stop, you're gonna start second guessing yourself, and then you're gonna close the trade before it hits your stop. Sell yourself a couple of points back in, and then it's gonna tick again you, and then you're going to exit again. And that's a brutal cycle, right? Bottoms form, sorry, bottoms, tops form rounded. They tend to stab up a little bit. It's hard. You want to have some evidence. You want to see some support break, fast move, get below a fast moving average, some kind of evidence of a pullback. I think I misunderstood that. Good. I'm blowing my nose so much, my lips are chapped. Many different people room all day, and he'll pop in late. Yeah, that's great. He's exceptional in options. That's fantastic. I I'm more interested in in his story of how he got there, what his daily process looks like. Because so everybody can make, what's learned from is more valuable. If I could learn or take something from his process and repeat it, then that's great. But if I can't, as then the mindset sets in of, oh, he made 17 million and I made 700. What's wrong with me? Again, not hating or anything like that. I'm just saying that he and that's great, right? What kind of, he made 17 million. What's his account size like, right? So is he trading if you're operating within parameters, I hope you're not. I hope, if you're able to make 17 million, I think you would have to have a really, really strong account, right? Again, no hate, no, I'm not talking it down. I'm just super careful of that because you almost have a reverse effect. All right, test the overnight high, guys. This is going to be the big test, right? He takes one of three out of every year and puts in land in gold. Yep. Okay. Smart. Diversified. I made some so I did something very similar when I started trading in like 2000. I really went full time in like 2011, 2012, and after I sorted out my process and I got good at it, um I'm almost hesitant to say this, but so then I took, I wanted to diversify. So, and then I got a little bit burned out with trading because, the sitting all day at your desk and, you know, um, staring at the screens all day just affected me negatively. And I wanted to, I wanted to diversify. So I did some, I bought some rental properties, apartments. At one point I had like 10 different townhome development. Oh, in fact, you know what? Here, I can show you projects I've done before. See the little two-tone townhomes. I have a bunch of those over here. Um, at one point at the same time, I had structured my loans properly, so I didn't take any contingencies on my construction loans. Instead, I was using the contingent, and so what ended up happening with that was when COVID hit. I remember calling my loaner, and he told my banker, and he told me, "Hey, you're good, you're fine, don't worry about it." Because I had taken long dated loans, like typical guys take 12 or 16 months, 24 months, and they paid for throughout the project. I was able to sit out COVID comfortably as soon as you know property. The interest that's percent, and I didn't think the risk reward was there. The taxes and interest were way too high. Plus, the market was and we were just coming out of, so it was, it was skeptical. So I pulled back on it. I'm still looking at some projects now on a daily basis. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it's a good idea. Take some of those trading profits and diversify. I was supposed to join on Wednesdays, but they had an appointment had to tend to. So hopefully, maybe we'll get good having approach doing this for a while. Um, Always fun to have David on. All right, so guys, I told you that the high was forming. We got the high going on right here. Little scalp trades. All right, little scalps. Nothing serious. Well, like for the reasons I stated earlier. But we do have our resistance point. Market. So for me, it's a valid trade, right? I have this is when you stack. We have price. That's a good place to take risk, in my book. For me, it's about trade. I just wasn't really. That's what MES is good for. on this one. Where can this thing face? 573. $55. That's the look. Guys, right? We had at the pre-pan level that went out market. I showed you, right? So you can see the level here, right? Resistance sell, 6 to 10 point risk. Tactical fade at the range extreme, high risk against the trend. Always map it out for you very, very carefully so that we know the risks, right? Okay. So we had price. We had time. I'm sorry. We had price on our side. We knew that this was, we traded up. We traded 25 contracts at the high, and the delta here on this, I just hit it. The only other thing that the one thing that trading all did for me and having a mentor, those, I had 3 mentors, and they really, without them, I don't think I would have stuck with it. Because everything you learn in trading is kind of like this linear thing, right? Where you're reading a book or you're watching a video. But that doesn't address any component of trading, which is the emotional aspect. And in order for that to be addressed to what challenges you personally, you kind of need to open up to someone and let the mentor or trading coach comes in. Traders of Our Time, a book written about access traders. Thanks, Simon. Thanks. Dang it. I didn't realize we got below there. Yeah, it's coming back up. It's coming for me. I don't want to extend the risk on this, but really my stop should be above the high. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a graceful exit on this one. No harm, no foul. Hey guys, quick reminder that today at noon, Lauren and Danny are going to be on. Always great stuff from them, talking about mindset, talking about and get involved, get engaged, guys. Ask questions if you need help. Uh, that's what they're there for. They want to help you, but they can't help you unless you ask. All right, I think I lost $72. There you go. That's why you don't short a strong trend. Don't take big risks on those bets. Look at that. The overnight high held nicely. We had a bearish engulfing 15-minute print. And then we came right back to the highs again. Tape. Now the Russell and the Nasdaq are participating. Bullish action. Let's see if we start to form a balance above the overnight high. 73. We form a nice little balance when time is right. What ES loves to do in these situations, right? So you probably got some guy selling it. Oh, that's the high, that's the high. So it's going to stab up or patience. just going to chop around a little bit, pull back where it pulls and goes lower, and that's more looks like a sideways move than anything else. The longer we hang out up here, the less bearish it is, the more we're going to, probably break out to the upside. Traders are going to get frustrated. They're going to start covering. It's going to lead to higher prices. The longer we hang out up here, the less bearish it is. Probably break out to the upside. Traders are going to get frustrated. They're going to start covering. It's going to lead to higher prices. Oh, I'm seeing some type of action here on the SPY. See what that material. Some type of action. squaring out that delta a little bit over the last 8 minutes. There have been one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So program. All right, guys, we're wrapping it up for the morning. But remember, the volatility isn't over. If you've got the skill, but if you want execution clock, go to the X feed. You got the levels, you have the timing. Make sure you execute. Remember, react, don't predict. If you want to go, if you got anything out of this at all, do me a favor, hit the like button or comment or subscribe. Let us know what we're doing, and we will see you tomorrow. All right. See you soon.
In a market built for machines, where the odds feel stacked against the retail trader, one firm is turning the tide. Welcome to Pitbull Traders, the next generation in trading. This is more than just an evaluation. It's a development ground, designed to sharpen your edge, build your discipline, and back your growth with real capital. With affordable evaluations, clear rules, and a structure built to reward consistency, Pitbull Traders is here to help serious traders level up.